Oh, I want to do this game full of hope and optimism. I'm a big fan of Farming Simulator and ATC2, and other slow-paced games that focus on simulating these interesting everyday jobs that most of us will just probably never get the chance to do in real life. I'm easily entertained by just driving a huge truck across Europe, or spending 1,000 hours building a mega factory. Unsatisfactory, but holy, this camp construction simulator, this game made me realize that there actually is a limit on how much monotony and overall junkiness I can handle before I start feeling like I would raise a blow my own brains out if it would mean I would not have to play it anymore. I cannot believe that an entire team of developers said they thinking that this game would be fun to play solo. I should add that everything you do in the game is clearly designed for multiplayer players in co-op, so that fact that I played it solo for 8 hours is probably my own fault, at least in part, but they advertise it as a solo or co-op game, so perhaps I can be forgiven for expecting it to be at least a little bit interesting if I choose to play it on my own. But know that the game is not playable solo. If you are gonna take anything away from this video, it should be that the grind is so ridiculously steep on your own that even taking on a relatively small job of building a new road on a small stretch of land takes literally hours. And it's not the kind of hours that I gonna fly by because it's a fun time of grind that feels rewarding once you are done either, or no, it's a kind of tedious grind that just makes you want to punch yourself in the balls. With rage after the first 13 seconds, it's like they went out of their way to make every single task the most boring and uninspiring it could possible be, and they try to hide in behind that our soon term we call realism, despite building the whole game on the same engine that they used for the past simulator series, which means everything's so stiff and lifeless. It feels like it sucks any remaining change of enjoyment straight out of your soul like a vampire. And controls, oh god, the controls are current dice. I'm not even just talking about the overall layout of the controls either, but hell, let's start. They press Q and E to drive forward in vehicle with trucks, and I and C to reverse, or combine E and C to drive right, in Q and I to go left. I mean, what the now before you say anything, yes, I know you can change the key blendings yourself to something that makes sense, but then you have got to be the type of person that enjoys sitting in the menu fighting with controls for an hour before you even start playing the game. And to me, that's what I call don't even get me started on dodging a hole in the ground when you need to create a trench to lay piping before paving over it with a new road, because holy, you need to move a lot of dirt, and you need to use 8 different controls to operate the boom arm on the back of the wool tractor, and every time you want to move one of those vehicles that has a crane, you have got to put everything back together, and it's finally, it does not just close itself down. You have literally got to retract the crane in the right way so that it sits properly behind the cab before you can move it's horrible, and once you get the hang of that, it still takes at least 14 minutes just to move all this dirt they want you to move, and that's even before you can start with the next 10 externally boring tasks it wants you to do, all the while having to fast travel backwards and forwards across the map constantly to refill on gravel or fuel, or rent an endless stream of vehicles for all the different tasks that are all just choicely listed in a jumbled mess in the vehicle, so that decent number of licensed vehicles in the game, but most of them are just as in Europe versions of the same vehicles, so really there's far less vehicles of the advertised if you go by functionally, so Many of those were simulated campaigns, churn out garbage on the same engine year after year and claim it's realistic while seemingly forgetting to add my actual driving physics or enjoyable game mechanics that would feel rewarding for the player. It's not like in real life where you could drive over a road past the building you help build and get rewarded thanks of help to build that. In this it just sort of disappears and you tasked with the next Mingle's tedious task. Finishing the job does not even feel like accomplishment. Once you are one done with the task, it just jumps to a quick cutscene showing a vague overview of what you just spent the last few hours doing before instantly dropping the next task on you while handing you a ridiculous amount of money as a reward that makes really buying vehicles not challenge what's over, and that is back to the vehicle shop to rent or buy the next thing.